All right, here we go. All right, guys, 2023, it's been around for a couple months, but we have a huge update for you agents on Sunfire. Jeremy, let us know what this update is.
Thank you, Louise. So yes, for this update, we are excited. We have put in several dozen, hundreds of man hours into making sure that this process is compliant. But we know as field agents, a lot of work has been face to face, doing a paper scope of appointment, doing a text or email enrollment or scope of appointment. But new to 2023 is we have a new voice signature for both scope of appointments as well as enrollments. So an example here on the screen, when you're clicking into your scope of appointment page, you'll be able to see all of your scope of appointments that are available. You'll be able to see email, text, scope, complete scope, or upload if you have a updated scope if you have a paper. If you are on a phone call, you will see an additional scope option that pops up here, and they call that the voice scope. And that's what it's going to look like right here on the screen. This is the same for your scope of appointment. This is also the same for your enrollment as well, which is going to be a game changer if your clients do not have a smartphone to do a text or an email enrollment. If you are on the phone with them and they just say, hey, I'd rather do it verbally, they can go in, click voice scope. It's going to pop up a box that says follow this verbatim. Same thing on the enrollment. So you'll fill out the client's basic information. It's going to be their Medicare, Medicaid information. It's going to have the plan that you're looking at. And then it's going to say you have three options. We can do text or email. We can do the third option will be that voice. So if you say, hey, I don't want to read the three disclosures, I don't want to send them a text, I just want to read the three disclosures and get them taken care of with a voice enrollment, you can do that. Once you finish the disclosures for the enrollment, the client's just going to say their name, their date of birth, and that they agree, and that's as good as a signature in terms of CMS compliance. So that's just very high level of how it works. Like I mentioned, you do need to be on a recorded phone call to see that option pop up. But we're excited about it this year. We're not going to lose clients to not having a smartphone. Any client that has a voice can enroll in a Medicare plan.
Beautiful. And then one thing I want to note, and Jeremy, if you don't mind, can you go back to that other screen? Because I want to make a point to agents on this. Okay. We now have to deal with the 48-hour rule, guys. Okay. Now, if you look at what it says on the update and it's in bold, please note Sunfire recommends that an agent should only take voice signature enrollments on an inbound call. Guys, what happens on an inbound call is you don't have to worry about the 48-hour rule anymore. So now that 48-hour rule is not, you don't have to worry about it because it's an inbound call. You can read this voice scope. Jeremy, what are your thoughts there? And what happens when an agent makes a call and they want to do this voice signature?
Absolutely. Yeah, great call. So yes, in the past, as long as you were doing a, voice signature or a text or an email, that was all well and good. Now with that 48-hour rule, it does have to take place on an inbound phone call. It cannot be a transfer. So I just wanted to make sure everyone's aware. If you have an unlicensed agent or an appointment setter for you that transfers it to you, or you're on an outbound phone call, as long as the client is interested in enrolling in that plan or at least discussing the plan options, I would say we can do a scope of appointment and go over some plan options. Here's my phone number. Call me back on an inbound line so we can have one, a compliant fresh start, and then two, we've already given that client instructions. Okay, you're going to call me, so we're compliant. Next step, we can do that scope of appointment, and then we can take care of everything, whether it's voice, email, text at that point.
Beautiful. Guys, that's a hot tip. Make sure you're doing it right. Thank you, Jeremy. We'll move on to video number 3.